is just fantastic.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Tess Holliday, because I find her amusing. Can you hear the barking? Yeah, Bingo's giving it some in the garden. He's a French bulldog. He thinks he's large. It's great. The video in question that we're going to look at first was shared to Twitter by Alan Roberts, who does a lot of anti-body positivity, anti-fat acceptance content on his social media. I take no issue with that. There is a substantial difference between being positive about body types and fat acceptance, which is usually conflated with. So let's see what Tess has to say today.
Hi, I just wanted to tell you that you can actually take up space without going to the moon.
For this quote to make sense, you'd have to know that Tess Holliday has co-written a book. Bingo's still barking if you can't tell. It's called Take Up Space, Y'all. Yeah, that's the video. There's a promotional video we're going to look at in a bit about that.
I thought that this morning was a perfect morning to remind you that I have a book coming out this year for teens and tweens called Take Up Space, Y'all.
I'm going to say now, verbatim, if the book is in any way a promotion for unhealthy habits that cut short life, inhibit one's ability to be more mobile, perhaps get in the way of them getting involved in activities like getting on a roller coaster, like the one you see on the screen now, things that make your life more complicated and difficult and require you to be reliant on medication constantly to deal with something like, I don't know, morbid obesity, then this is not a book worth promoting, nor is it a book worth reading. I'm not surprised you put this inspirational music in the background, the ambient music, because you're trying to make yourself seem a bit more of a professional social media influencer now, since the well of actual work you would have had beforehand has basically dried up. Although, somewhat amusingly, you did laugh your head off when Elon Musk lost a bunch of money, 16 billion in a day I think it was. You were very happy for him losing all that work. Well, as somebody that is quite generous when it comes to making sure everyone is treated the same, I'm loving this for you too.
And it is literally about taking up space. I was so inspired by Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul because that was my Bible when I was a kid. I mean, I loved it. I mean, we didn't have TikTok. We didn't have phones to scroll on.
Yes, this is true. Neither of us, in fact, had Tic-Tac, TikTok, social media, smartphones. Smartphones or phones as a thing weren't really more prominent until I was in my teens. So early turn of the century. Smartphones themselves didn't really rise until the later years of my time at university. Then, because of social media, they really rose to prominence. I'm not surprised at what you fell into, because while you were doing that, I was climbing trees, watching banger racing, and looking for money so I could buy food, or working for money so I could buy food, and I wasn't even 10. Our priorities were different, weren't they? I have a feeling your parents were enablers. There's a great series of videos showing the generational divide between parent and child, to the point now parents are so soft, their children walk all over them and they let them do it, because they're soft. I'm not in favour of beating a child, just to be clear. No, I'm not. Just not soft. You definitely have soft parents that fail you.
I learned so much from that book, and it has been a joy of mine to create this with myself and my co-author Kelly. And what we've done is so magical and so important, and I'm just so excited to have this exist in the world.
It is worth noting that with Tess's diminished presence on social media, because her fame, notoriety, infamy, and all the other quaint words has diminished significantly, she's only promoting this on TikTok and other sites because she knows damn well it won't do well on its own.
So you can go to the link in my bio to pre-order your copy and let me know in the comments where we should come on our book tour.
There's the mantra, go woke, or get woke, go broke, right? Well, I can't imagine Tess is rolling in the money these days, and this book being a co-worked project thing, co-authored, yeah, that. While I would want her to succeed in everything she does, I can't imagine this will do it for her. And there's another video she's done on this that I want to touch on as well. We'll get to another subject of Tess's.
Hi, I'm Tess Holliday, and I wrote the book Take Up Space, Y'all. And this book is literally going to change lives.
Is changing lives another term for moderately increase my bank balance when sycophants, simps and feeders look at it and go, oh, Tess can buy more of this? If that's the case, then yes, it will certainly change a life for a time. but it would have nowhere near the level of impact I could have filling a water gun with Everclear and firing it at children.
The reason I wrote Take Up Space, Y'all, with my amazing co-author, Kelly Kuhn, is because I didn't see myself as a kid represented in books, or really anywhere.
Wow, like, that makes us totally, like, relatable, like, hectic, kinda, yeah, like, honestly. You couldn't be more cliche if you tried. As someone that grew up during a time where books like Pong Whiffy and those horror books, like, whatever they're called, Goosebumps, that was it, existed. I didn't have any books as a kid that I felt like I was represented with either, or by either. But to be honest, I didn't want to read a book that I felt I was represented in. I wanted to read books because I wanted to escape my life, right? That's what a book does. It takes you to another place, another world. Whether it be the works of Tolkien. As a teenager, I know Harry Potter rose to fame then, later infamy. You had The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And I mentioned Goosebumps because those books were quite good. As a kid, I thoroughly enjoyed those. My favourite one was Haunted Mask, the first one, not follow-up. There were books that were for you, but if you just wanted a book that fed into who you were, or who you are, you're just looking for something to fuel your own ego and narcissism, which is an apt summary of you. You are one massive narcissist. You've always been that. It's why you spend an inordinate amount of time responding to criticisms on TikTok, because you need it. You need that because you've got very little else going on. This book might do well for you. It might, for a short time, but again, it's only so you can boost your own ego, and for no other reason, because if any child is like you as a child, they're also being neglected. We should keep the receipts and check on the parents.
Sometimes I still don't. Take Up Space, Y'all, was inspired by my favorite book growing up, Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul.
What I love about what inspired you to make this book is that company went bust in 2024 for failing to pay employees or support healthcare. The very thing they built a reputation on was all ironic. It was even turned into a 19-episode anthology series. Most of the stories in the first book that were carried around came from audience members, or their own inspirational talks. It was rejected by major publishers in New York. It mostly got accepted by self-help publishers in Florida. That's about it. I understand, by the way, the purpose of these kind of books to help each other. I don't think in these books, though, the message would have been, help yourself to everything and don't think about sharing with anything other than your second, third, and fourth stomach.
I took that book everywhere. When I tell you I was packing snacks and headed off into the woods, growing up in Mississippi with my Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul and learning how to navigate a world because parents weren't telling me, the internet really wasn't popping, not to age myself.
Oh, poor Mississippi. Side note, you don't have to worry about aging yourself too much. Like myself, I think the internet knows you're not young. It's quite alright. I didn't have internet access until 19 years ago when I went to university, and I will admit that was quite the eye-opener, especially when my housemates hid in my closet, used a wireless mouse on my computer, and loaded up smut that I could not remove because my mouse and keyboard did work. Now that, the prank, me putting laxatives in their food, was a proportionate response.
And I didn't feel seen. We talk about body image, we talk about frenemies, we talk about body hair, we talk about eating disorders, all of the things that maybe you don't have a safe person in your life telling you. It's in this book.
Based on the fact that this then throws shades at certain parents, I do wonder how many parents will willingly want to buy such a book for their child, or which child would rather spend money buying that book when they could spend it on something more important, like Warhammer. Or if you've seen my Instagram posts or my tweets, Thunderbird model kits, because I grew up on that stuff and I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm just waiting for Thunderbird 2 and 3 to come out. I'm going to be a very happy chappy. I'm all for, by the way, promotional books that help people. I really am. I have no issue with them. I've seen books of people detailing their childhood experience. A Child Called It, if you've heard of that book. Who Nelly. And it's a cathartic release for the person writing it. Of course it is. But a great way of highlighting how some people are. Inspirational books, self-help books, serve a purpose, yes. Is there much space for Tess's voice? 10 years ago maybe, but then Tess is very much at the stage, and always has been at the stage, that you are perfect the way you are. I don't agree with that. That is a sentiment shared by many who think you should be on something like Ozempic, which is where we're going to go now. The funny thing is, you would judge.
It's kind of like when you are plus size.
Just before you continue, Tess, the fact this was even a conversation you're willing to engage with a comment speaks volumes for how bad you are allowing the negativity to dictate what you do and don't do. Firstly, if your health matters to you, you will do whatever you want to do to help in that department, right? We all have moments of weakness, but you have generally held firm in your belief that this is you, this is who you are, and this is what you're always going to be. Take the excellence of execution quote, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, and apply it here as well, according to the world of Tess. It should never matter, even if you're going to use a cheat code, it should never matter what anyone else thinks. I do think, though, if you ever did something like this, you would only run the risk of judgment because you'd be seen as a hypocrite. You really would be. In fact, that would be irrefutable. You can't deny that that would make you look like the biggest hypocrite of them all. For championing body positivity and fat acceptance, to then using Ozempic, a glorified cheat code. Just leave it for the diabetics, please. Thank you.
Are plus size and not palatable. You're kind of screwed either way. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well then, Tess, thank God I'm here to give you some quality advice. My advice is simple. You do what is best for you. Whether it be monetary, whether it be your health, the decision is ultimately yours. But for as long as you're promoting the unhealthy side of living, the one that is super morbidly obese, I'm going to call you out. If you become a hypocrite, you become a hypocrite. I want you to live your best possible life. If you believe your best possible life is you at this size, so be it. I'm not going to champion it though, and I'm certainly not going to promote it to my viewers. But if it works for you and you're happy, then that's all that matters. Don't allow negative comments to bring about momentary weakness in your convictions. It happens to everyone from time to time. I am no different. Usually mine come when I criticise Hassan Piker. Yeah, because there are a lot of very stupid people in my audience. Oh, that's going to annoy him and I don't care.
But really, this experience was one of the best of my life. And it was totally unplanned.
She continues by telling us about how a family at a hotel made tomato sauce. Couldn't care less. But she uses it as a way of articulating a response that lacked any snark or any kind of clapback. It was just a really redundant segue, used to try and make it seem like things are a bit more relatable. Which is basically where Tess resides, if that makes sense. She doesn't really do much. She responds to negativity and promotes things that she's got going on. The only thing I've never seen on her TikTok, which I'm grateful she's never promoted there, is the Only Fupa Fibro Failed Adult Film Actor account. And no, I'm not going to say because of that, OF detected, opinion rejected, because everything's based on her opinion. And her opinion is no less important than anyone else's. It's just slightly dumber than most, because she doesn't quite grasp why she is in such decline. And if she did, she also doesn't understand that she kind of deserves it.